Yeah, my name is Ahmed Kenneth Kwashi. I am the General Superintendent of the Free Methodist Church, Ghana. This happened about 3 years ago. On my way back to the conference hall, I met Pastor Oshupak and his team, also coming out of their hotel room to the car park. As we met, Pastor Oshupak stretched his hand to greet me. And I wondered why he did that, because that was the first time. I didn't know him, and he didn't know me either. So when he stretched forth his hand, well, as the Ghanaian will always be, I also stretched forth my hand. And then he said, "You are a pastor." I didn't know whether to say yes or no because I wasn't wearing anything that shows I was a pastor. Then I said, "Yes, I am a pastor." And he said, "Give me your card." Well, all this for me was why. I went back to my vehicle, got my card, and gave it to him. Now, about a month later, I received an invitation from Pastor Oshupak to come to Korea. I said, "What? Come to Korea for what?" But when I read the letter, it was a Grand Bible Seminar in Korea. And once I heard the Grand Bible Seminar, I thought, wow, this is going to be beautiful. This is going to be great. I prepared and then traveled to Korea. And I was still wondering, why all this? Well, we got there the following day. We went into the seminar. And all I heard was the gospel of Jesus Christ. I remember vividly, at the time, the theme was, "We are justified." We are justified. And I sat there listening to Pastor Oshupak, see somebody preaching that gospel with, courage, with boldness, and with excitement. That was my first time seeing any man of God preach the gospel the way Pastor Oshupak preached. And wow, after the preaching, you go into what they call a counseling session with other pastors, and there we had a good time also explaining more about the gospel of Jesus Christ. Now, as I listened to Pastor Oshupak for about 3 to 4 days, preach the same gospel with such zeal, with such boldness, with such excitement, right there, I was wondering, and I asked God, can I have this boldness to preach this gospel? Please help me to preach this gospel. And let me tell you, God, through the messages and preachings of Pastor Oshupak, granted me that boldness to preach this gospel of Jesus Christ without fear. And when I returned from Korea, came back to the church, I called my pastors in one of our conferences and told them, we have to preach this gospel of Jesus Christ, the gospel of justification. I remember that year, our theme for the year was, "We are justified by faith." What I want to say is that I actually got the boldness to preach that gospel after listening to Pastor Oshupak. Even though this was a belief that is enshrined in our book of discipline, which means that is what we believe. We dare not preach it because we're all afraid. We all kind of wanted to please men instead of pleasing God and His Word. And I thank God so much for having to meet Pastor Oshupak. And today, since I began preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, let me tell you something. I have peace. I go out and come in peacefully. It's like I am fulfilled. Because what I used to do is like you knowing the truth and not being able to follow the truth. But then trying to please men and trying to please people around you. But when I started preaching this gospel of Jesus Christ, look, I have peace. There is one thing I realized about this gospel. When we preach this gospel of Jesus Christ, look, we receive peace. We have peace within ourselves. And then He blesses everything we do. Whatever we say, whatever we do is blessed. And in fact, we have that confidence to move out and move in without fear. I want to encourage you, brothers and sisters. It is not about what anybody says. Indeed, the gospel of justification is true. And the gospel of Jesus Christ that says that we are justified, we are holy, we are righteous is true. I want you to understand, brethren, that preaching this gospel will not take anything away from us. Rather, will bring us blessings. And the glory of God will be seen on us. I want to encourage you, my brothers and sisters listening and watching, that do not be afraid. I was afraid yesterday, but through Pastor Oshu Park, the Lord delivered me from my fear. If you will listen to Pastor Oshu Park and believe in the gospel he's preaching, every fear that you have, as the Lord did for me, he will do it for you. And I want to thank you for listening, and I thank God for the life of Pastor Oshu Park. I pray he will continue to live long and continue to preach this gospel all over the world. And I want to partner with the Good News Mission. And I have already done that. We are preaching this gospel. And I want our partnership with the Good News Mission to be great so that we can preach this gospel all over the world, especially in my country, Ghana. God bless you. Thank you, Pastor Oshu Park. May the good Lord bless and keep you for his glory. Amen.